This morning, I heard a case that troubled me. By most estimates, there are more than 20 million people in this country with drug addictions. Drug use was one of the big issues facing the couple I met today in divorce court.
Divorce court is now in session.
Mr. and Mrs. McKinney, you have been together 10 years, married 6, separated 1, and all I can say is there's a whole lot wrong at your house. So I'm going to start with you, Mrs. McKinney. Why don't you tell me your #1 problem with Mr. McKinney?
Where do I start? He's lazy, he doesn't want to work, he's high all the time. Everything you name it. In the beginning of our relationship, it was sweet. He was working. You know, we was going out. We was doing things. You know, he made me laugh. He was, at that time, I guess I needed to laugh. He was full of jokes. As time progressed and, you know, I had the baby, I just seen that. I'm like, did I have 2 at one time? Because it's basically, I'm playing both the woman and the man of the relationship. Every time I turn around, James, did you take out the food for the baby? James, oh, after I finished playing this video game. You know, that's where the, you know.
Now, Mr. McKinney, at some point during your relationship, did you start coming up light?
Yes, and I'll give you 2 reasons why.
Okay.
There's Newton's 3rd law. For every action, there's a greater or equal reaction.
Equal and opposite
yes,
reaction
yes.
is what it is, but go ahead.
So the things that she's saying, yes, I did it. I got lazy. I was working, but I wasn't working like consistently like I was supposed to do because of the things Miss McKinney was doing.
Well, what was she doing that caused you to be lazy?
She was very much, you know, we were together and married. She was going out of the relationship, being with other men. And I told her from the beginning, I didn't like that. I wasn't going to stand for that. So
when you say going out with other men, what do you mean exactly? Was she just had like male friends that she would hang out with? Was she cheating on you?
Having male friends that she quote unquote, see the quotation fingers, saying that they were her friends, her brothers, and they were having like relations actually, having relationships.
Did you get caught, Mrs. McKinney?
Listen, everybody that's next to me that's a male, he's assuming that we are going together. My boss, oh yeah, your boss said you got to stay work, so that means you could have cocktails with him. It's in his own delusional mind because he wasn't putting the weight in the marriage. I'm screwing everybody.
Really?
I can say once, I got caught, but you know what? At the end of the day, at that point,
once you did get caught?
I did get caught. I had to prove a point to him because I got fed up of me doing everything, and I said, you know what? You think that I can't have nobody else? He said, what man would want a woman with 3 kids?
Now, I got to say something to you about your phrasing. You said, once I got caught.
Yeah.
Now, most people who've done it once say, I did it once. Yeah, one time I did it, but you said, once I got caught.
I got
That's
caught.
The one time she got caught.
I got caught.
So that means there was more than one.
Yes, 52 times.
You just didn't
Possibly.
5-2, but stop counting.
5-2,
yes,
7?
52 times.
He's over-exaggerating.
I've caught her cheating.
You couldn't have caught her 52 times.
No, yes, I have.
He's so full of crap.
Yes. 52 times that I've known. I've seen text messages, seen things on the internet, and marks on her body. So it's like, okay, if you're not going to be consistent with me, why should I be consistent with you?
What's that have to do with you bringing in a paycheck that has to take care of your kids?
We're going to talk about that in a minute, but let me ask you this. Having cheated on your husband more than once, as we have established, would you not expect that your husband would be less than the happy, cheerful contributor to the household?
Listen, I got tired of saying to the same thing. I kept asking him to do certain things. Like, after a while, it's like a broken record. I'm not going to keep asking you to get up, do what you have to do. You don't work, you don't eat. That's how I was raised. I'm not going to ask you to go get a job. Whether I'm cheating with the Pope, you still have to provide for your family. That's your obligation. So at the end of the day, since I was working 2 jobs, pulling in the weight, why would I want to be with you when I just seen you on that couch all day for 12 hours? So yes, somebody asked me out for cocktails, I go out. It's not all about intimacy all the time. I went out to hang out because I had to still enjoy myself because I deserve that.
Mr. McKinney, before she started stepping out on you, were you less than a helpful, contributing member of the family?
Yes, I was contributing. When she started stepping out, that's when I downgraded from making jokes, buying her things, because I like that. If I'm going to be with a woman, I'm going to spoil my woman. I'm going to give her everything she wants, everything she needs. So when I seen this on a consistent basis, that she likes to cheat and step out and lie about everything and be argumentative so she can run out and be with other men, I stopped buying her things, stopped really being the man I was supposed to be, because I'm like, why should I give my all to this relationship or this marriage that we're doing?
Well, how long into the relationship did you start stepping out?
Be honest. Be honest.
About almost 2 years into it.
No,
2 years.
You are fabricating the truth.
About 2 years.
Stop.
After we first got together, James held a job for like 6 months. After that, he picked up the marijuana habit. Every time you turn around, he was high. I was like, oh my God. Until the neighbor kept saying, yo, every time there's like smoke coming from your door, she wanted to call the fire department. No, it's not him.
Really?
He's having a party all by
Really?
himself in there. And then every time the schools call me, your
Really?
husband picked up the kids from school late again. Why?
Really?
Because you're high.
Actually,
Come
not.
on, how much can a woman take? So after 2 years, I hired a personal babysitter because my husband's home, but he didn't leave the house. So I had to hire a personal nanny to go pick up my children from school. That's another expense that I had to do. So that way, after 2 years, I said, enough is enough. Since I'm doing everything, hey, why not go get me some fun too? Yes, I did. It is what it is.
Wouldn't the better response be to confront him about his failures, ask him to make some changes by a certain time, and then if he fails to do so, leave him?
He told me, this is what he told me. He said, I'm a man, because he's older than me. He told me, I'm a man, and no woman can tell me what to do. I know what I'm supposed to do as a man. So if you know Mr. Know-It-All, Mr. Know-It-All is supposed to know that the rent is due on the 1st, that the kids' schools is due, Mr. Man. So why should I tell the man that knows everything what to do? You already know.
So I called her. I got this tingling sensation. This is the first time I got a tingling sensation when she stepped out on me. So I got home from work. My ex-boyfriend was here, and we fooled around. I'm like, really?
Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Now, you disagree about the time period between which she was fooling around,
Yes.
she was okay in fooling around. You say it wasn't 2 years.
No, it
How do
wasn't.
you know? What evidence do you have?
What evidence do I have to support that that theory? Okay, when we first started going together, I was working at a movie theater. That's where we initially met. So I had a situation in my life where I got exited out of my living situation. So I told her she had an apartment in Brooklyn. So she moved from her mother's house. We went to the house in Brooklyn. So one of her ex-boyfriends came over. She called me like, oh, he's here for such and such and such reason. I'm like, why is he there anyway? Oh, he just come to talk. So I'm like, okay, just let me know what's going on. When he leave, call me. So I called her. I got this tingling sensation. This is the first time I got a tingling sensation when she stepped out on me. This was 2 weeks into our relationship. So I got home from work. She was
When you were at the theater, were you watching Spider-Man?
No, I was actually working. I was an usher. So
what's with the tingle? I thought that was a spidey sense.
no, it was my sense of like, if I'm with somebody, I get connected with them. So I feel their feelings and everything. So I had to tingle in myself. I'm like, oh, something's not right. So I jumped in the cab, went straight to the house. So she was in the crib, hauled it up in the car. I'm like, what's the matter? What's the matter? Tell me what's the matter. She's like, oh, nothing. I'm like, come on. I can see it in your face. There's something the matter. So she was hesitant to tell me. So I'm like, yo, stop playing me. Tell me what's wrong. Oh, my ex-boyfriend was here and we fooled around. I'm like, really?
Did that
That
happen?
is not true.
He's got a lot of details
every
there.
tingling sensation is always,
Really?
if
It's not
somebody
true?
calls my phone and asks me to pick up
not
extra
true?
hours,
Stop.
he has a tingling sensation. That's his problem. Because my thing about it is he doesn't want to make the money, but he also doesn't want me to be out late either.
Well, let's just talk about the one time that he's
All right, the one
talking
time he's
about
talking
when the
about-
ex came over.
It was a studio apartment. It wasn't like a mansion. So if I had to do something, my son's bed was like not even a yard away from me. Everybody that comes close to me that's male, he assumes.
And he
That's
gets
an
to
ego
take it.
trip. Yeah, it's ego tripping with him.
Well, you say that Mr. McKinney has in fact stepped out on you as well. Is that true?
I know for a fact that he stepped out. One day I stayed home for work. I was so exhausted. I went from one job, came home for 4 hours, and was supposed to go to the next job. So I decided to stay in. He didn't know. He thought I've already gone. So I went to go. I said, let me make us something to eat. The kids don't have to be picked up until 3. Let me cook some food. I go to pick up the house phone. She was like, the girl says, hey, boo, what you doing? I said, who you? That's what I said. I said, because the only person named Boo is here. I call the baby Boo Boo. That's what you want to speak to? You know what I'm saying? So she was, I'm looking for Jay. So I said, can I ask who's calling? Long story short, it was his ex-girlfriend that's keep calling the house, and she's like, well, I just saw him last week. He told me his grandmother was sick, and she had to take her to the hospital. Wow. Long story short, I called the grandmother. She ain't seen James in a month. So which one is it, right?
Was the ex calling you up and saying, hey, boo, how you doing?
Now, she is a good lie fabricator, because that was all false. Because
None of that happened.
No, one thing happened. She called my cell phone. I can tell you, I can give you down to the detail of the day. We was laying in the bed. It was 2:45 in the morning on a Thursday. So we laying in the bed, sleep. My phone rang. I'm like, who is this? I don't know this number. So I pick it up. I'm like, hello? She's like, hey, Jay, what's good? I'm like, what? Who's this? She's like, oh, it's such and such. I'm like, oh, what's good? Blah, 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 blah. And she was right there laying next to me. She said, who did I? I'm like, oh, this
So
is
it was a call out of the blue. It wasn't something that was scheduled for when she was out. I got it. I don't know who I believe, but I understand both stories.
He missed our daughter's birth.
Was he high?
He was so,
How was
his
I?
eyes
How
looked
was
like
I?
he took red
How
crayon
was I?
and drew on his eyes.
How was I?
He was so stoned.
How was I?
And then I had
And
the
the kids
neighbor
sitting
took
right
the
there?
kids to my mom.
Do you think it was okay for James to let his girlfriend meet his children? Call now to vote. 855-70-DIVORCE. That's 855-70-DIVORCE. You'll receive some exclusive offers. If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Tell me about the 30-day notice. What prompted it and what was his response to it?
Okay, after I found out about the ex-girlfriend that he was continuing seeing, and one day I went with the babysitter, and I was like, you know what, I don't have to be to work too late. I'll walk with you to take the kids to school. A woman in the neighborhood approached me and said hello to my kids. I'm not there. I don't know. How do you know my kids? And she said to me, like, those are James' kids, right? I was like, yeah. So the young lady told me that after she takes the children to school, he and her come back to my house, or they go to her house. They smoke, they play video games and everything like that. So I said, so who does he say that he lives with, right? He said, oh, you're his sister, and those are his nieces and nephews. I'm the sister. I didn't even argue with the lady. I said, come on, come back to my house. I don't want to talk outside in the street. Ooh. So I invited the lady back to my house, and every day that I'm at work, she's in my bed. She showed the sheets, everything in my bedroom, she told me. I was just so vivid. And when he texted me, he's like, I'm on my way. I said, James is on his way, matter of fact. And not until he walked into the door and she walked up to give him a hug, I said, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but I'm his wife and those are his kids. The girl was frantic. She's like, oh, you liar, this, that, and the third. You've been sleeping with me unprotectedly. So after that, I was like, you know what? By you, I put up with too much with you, smoking with the marijuana, and then he missed our daughter's birth. He came to the hospital 3 days later.
Was he high?
High as a kite. Oh, you're 7 months pregnant. Who has a baby? You're just delusional. You probably told a doctor to have the baby now. I told a physician to induce me at 7 months. My high blood pressure had went to the roof that the fire department had to take me out the house. James was right there, didn't even know what happened.
You didn't go? You
No,
got a woman with high blood pressure, probably preeclampsia. They got to take her to the hospital in an ambulance. You didn't go?
I went the first time when had our first daughter. We stayed in the hospital for 3 days. I was up there.
I don't want to hear
every
about
day.
that. I'm talking about this time.
The second one, no, I didn't go because she asked her sister to go. Her sister's like, come on, I'm going with you. I'm going with you. I'm like, yo, I'm going. She's like, no, you stay here with the kids. I'm like, okay, whatever.
He was so
whatever.
stoned he couldn't even sit up.
How
I had to
was
call
I?
my
How
mother.
was I?
He was so
How was
his
I?
eyes
How
looked
was
like
I?
he took red
How
crayon
was I?
and drew on his eyes.
How was I?
He was so stoned.
How was I?
And then I had
And
the
the kids
neighbor
sitting
took
right
the
there?
kids to my mom. That's
The
how
kids
bad.
are sitting right
he
there.
showed
The kids
up
are not
2
going
days.
nowhere.
Mr. McKinney, Mr. McKinney, let me ask you
Come on,
this.
man.
Let
Don't
me
try to
ask you
disrespect me.
this. How much weed do you smoke?
Before, when we were together, I used to smoke a lot. I ain't even going to deny it. I used to smoke a lot. That was my way of keeping myself sane to deal with her.
Judge, he sold a
With her.
Blu-ray DVD player for a 50
Yup.
bag of weed.
It was mine, right?
A $300
It was mine, right?
DVD player
It was
that
mine,
we
right?
bought for the
For a
house.
It was mine,
$50
right?
bag
The
of
drug
weed?
dealer said,
No,
Miss, I
no,
respect you.
no,
Because he always,
no.
I would see
You wouldn't talk to the drug
No, I
dealer?
walking
No.
home one day, the guy stopped me in the street.
No.
He's like, Miss, before
No.
you get home, he's like, I just want to let you know that your husband brought me your Blu-ray DVD player, and I gave him a 50 sack. I don't know what no 50 sack is, but when I went home and I seen the flat screen, there was only wires. There was nothing connected to the wires. You know, and I came home, he's
Yeah.
like, well, I put half in it for it anyway. Half of $300 don't equal up to $50. You know what I mean? Every time it turned around, it was, as long as it benefits James. If you're going to smoke, get a job and support your own habit. You know what I'm saying? Don't take away from what we got to do. I'm only one working. I got to buy food and all that other stuff like that. And then next, it was just one thing to another. Next thing you know, I look at the cable bill. Homeboy, $320. Next thing you know, this is triple X, triple rated
Yeah.
stuff. He done after
Yeah.
dark. He done oil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, James, you got money for this?
Yeah, I
So
did.
he's like, oh, well, you wasn't giving me none, so I had to find some type of way. But why they gotta cost $300? Come on. It's
Yeah.
not right. It ain't
Yeah.
right.
Yup.
Do you have anything to say in closing, Mr. McKinney? Because I'm cooked.
In closing, I'm not gonna engage in any sexual contact with her if she's out there dealing with any other guys. Because there was one time I caught her 2 weeks after my oldest daughter was born. She's have a guy in my house. I'm like, I come home one night from working. I peek in the door. There's 4 feet instead of 2. 2 weeks after my child
Did you
is
have
born.
a guy over there?
Sure enough, did. I got so fed up with him, and I said, you know what? You stealing
I'm
money.
working-
You
I'm
getting
working late
high.
shift.
I'm
I
getting
got you.
tired. So my point was to show
I
to
work-
him
word,
that you
really?
think that
Really?
you the grass is green
I
on the
got
other
you.
side.
I got you.
So I sure enough did. And after
Really?
that was all she
Yeah.
wrote.
Okay. In divorce court, couples tell me everything about their relationships. Want to share your experience? Join the conversation on our Twitter page at Divorce Court. On Facebook, check out other fans and their intimate issues. You know everybody has something to say about love. What's on your mind? Mrs. McKinney, you're dead wrong. You can't go out running around because your man ain't doing no good.
I
What you
got
do?
so fed up with him.
Hey. What you do is you kick him to the curb and you keep it moving.
Kick him to where, Judge? He ain't had nowhere to go.
Hang on. You're gonna like what I say next. Just be cool. Now, I'm gonna say this. I understand why you got so frustrated with him. I believe everything you said. A, because you copped to the cheating.
Sure
You
enough.
copped to why you cheated, and you were talking about a $50 bag for a Blu-ray TV. All of that just rings so incredibly true. You just didn't handle it the right way. Kick the brother to the curb and keep it moving. You don't do, because it's irritating, Mr. McKinney. I believe she did start fooling around because you were just sucking all the air out of the room. You were sucking out the money. You were sucking out the joy. You were doing nothing else. You were sucking on a joint. And you got a whole lot of porn and stuff, and she got tired of it, and she was wrong to step out on you, but I think you put her there. I mean, doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. But you can't show up late and expect somebody to be right when you're late. Good night. Elizabeth and James do what so many people do. The relationship is over, everybody's doing the wrong thing, people are sleeping around, and it's not a good circumstance, but they don't make a decision. Make a decision. If it's over, end it.